Okay, welcome. So now that you guys have created your basic calculators that add, subtract, multiply, and divide, we're going to start looking at how to create a physics calculator. So just like we had to do in the basic one, you need to, over here will be where your program will be in all of your coding. Okay, I'm going to close this for now and show you how the program will be running, because this is what you're going to be creating, is the see inside part. And in order to create this physics calculator, there's not one correct way to do it. I'm going to show you what I've done, but you do not have to follow this format. Explore with it and be creative. So as always, we need to press this green flag to get started, and this sprite has just asked us, what are you solving for? And notice I only use the letters T, D, F, or V, F, and VI. This program is very sensitive to capitals and to spacing. So if you wanted to solve for time and you typed in the actual word time, this program would not work. You need to type in exactly what the program, what you've controlled the program to do. So if I want to solve for time, I'm going to put in a T, enter. Now, I've created my program so that depending on which variable I'm solving for, I can manipulate any one of our formulas that we've used in the past, depending on the certain information we have. So if we have final velocity, if we have acceleration, if we have initial velocity, the program will gather all of that information and use the appropriate formula. So if I allow the final velocity to be 7, the initial to be 0, and the acceleration to be 9.81, we get a time of 0.71. Now, let's see if we want to solve for something else. Maybe I want to solve for VF, and VF is used in a couple of these formulas. So notice, depending on the information I have, do I have time or do I have distance? Because if I don't have one or the other, I'll have to use another formula for this. So you do want to program your calculators to really take everything into consideration. I'm going to say that I have distance for this. So my distance I'll say is 80, the acceleration I'll say is 5, initial velocity is 8, and there's my final velocity. Now if we continue to work through this, we could do the same thing for distance, for VI. We'll do one more, VI. Once again, it's asking, do we have distance or time? Because that is going to depend on the formula that we use. I'll use time for this one. We'll say the time is 10. We'll say the acceleration is 9.81 again. And the final velocity is 0. And there is our initial velocity. I want to show you another example that Mr. Cozzolino created. And I want to show you these two different examples so you understand that you don't have to follow just one way. You really can explore and create your calculator to do anything you'd like it to do. Now, Mr. Cozzolino specifically did just a free fall calculator. So imagine, okay, if it's just a free fall calculator, which variable did he automatically set to a certain value? And you can kind of see it by looking over here. That variable is not one of the options we're solving for. So think about that as you're programming your calculator. I'm going to go ahead and start. It says, hello, how I can do free calculations for you. So he's having them say a couple more things and giving them a little bit more information. So that last one just said that VI was equal to 0. So not only is the VI set to 0 since this is a free fall calculator, but again, as mentioned earlier, that acceleration, since it's free fall, is also set to that certain value. So the other difference between his and mine is he has buttons. So you can click the buttons instead of typing it in. So I'm going to type in distance. Once again, trying to calculate for the fact that distance is going to use different formulas. So we'll say that we have time for this one. What is your time in seconds? 6. And once again, saying a couple more things, and he even goes in to put the meters in. Now, his answer only popped up for a little while. Please note that you have the capability to change anything. You can change it to last up there for a minute if you want. Okay. A couple last things I wanted to mention. If you want to get really creative and really explore, you can change your sprite. And as mentioned earlier, you can really create any calculator you want. So if you want it to not only do free fall, but you want to calculate another different type of concept that we've been doing in this class, you can certainly do so. I want you to explore this and have fun with it. Once you're done with your project, please remember to copy and paste the link to your project into our Schoology page. So I'll show you how to do that. You can either embed it or you can simply copy and paste this and go to our STEM, get into the physics calculator, and submit it through this assignment. All right, thanks, and let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to looking at your project.